Hi, we are here at Atlantic Health System, home of Atlantic Sports Health, with Dr. Damion Martins, and we're going to be talking about sports specialization today. And Dr. Martins, I know this has been a little bit of an epidemic. I don't want to call it quite an epidemic, but there are so many kids now specializing at a young age. What has been your experience with this?
Well, Bill, it's a really important topic, and we've seen in the last 10 to 15 years, as you said, a real trend towards sports specialization. And there's a lot of concern given the number of athletes that we have. Currently, it's estimated about 7 million high school athletes, and the most recent data says that about 25% are one-sport athletes, that they've specialized already in high school. And what concerns me most about the most recent information is that when you ask the student athlete, a third of them really feel pressured from a coach to drop all other sports. 50% of the athletes will tell you that it affects their academics, they're not able to complete their schoolwork. And probably the most concerning to you and I is that 75% of those athletes will say that their parents pressure them to play one sport. So it really has changed dramatically from the time when you and I played sports where we had multi-sport athletes. Nowadays, they're really kind of homing down in one sport very early.
Sure. And obviously there's some risk factors that come along with specializing in one sport. You know, what are some of the risk factors that you see?
Well, we look for certain trends with these athletes. So number one is that they're playing just one sport, that they're dropping all other sports. The second concern is that they're playing more than 8 months a year. So we ask them, how many months a year are you actually playing this sport? The third is travel out of state. So we know that they're on club teams and travel teams are traveling out of state. And then really identifying whether or not it's affecting their family life. So asking them, are you canceling family trips, vacations, time with your friends because of sports? So those are what are identified as the 4 big risk factors for sports specialization.
Very informative, you know, those simple questions really can help people identify, hey, are we going too much? Because, you know, listen, we all know high school now, it's very competitive.
Yep.
And, you know, I kind of say the high school now is the new college, right? If you're a varsity high school athlete, I mean, you're pretty good. You have to be pretty good to compete.
Yeah.
So, you know, what advice would you give to a parent? Because, you know, by the time maybe you're a sophomore in high school, junior, at that age, you know, I can't say here I'm against going at one sport at maybe a high-level high school. Other high schools, maybe it's okay. But some of the things, like you said, more than 8 months, not doing any other cross-training, because from my research, you know, the anatomical structure, the fascia, what's happening is you get overuse. So what could you say about that?
Well, there are some sports that lend themselves to specialization. Things like gymnastics, figure skating, that really do require a lot of early training. But many sports that kids specialize in today, such as baseball, basketball, soccer, the data shows that the professionals and the high-end college athletes are all multi-sport athletes. And this myth that early specialization makes them better at those sports is just not true.
Right, right. I think it's important because at the end of the day, to be great in a sport, you got to be a great athlete.
You got to be a great athlete.
You got to have that foundation, and enjoying other sports and participating in other sports is only going to, you know, make you more coordinated.
Very true.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hopefully this is helpful, and you talk to your athlete, make sure they understand the important things about becoming a great athlete. It's not just doing one sport, but really enjoying the time out there.
Correct.
Thanks so much, Damion.
You're welcome, Bill.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
You too.